Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Emily Bennett. We begin this Monday night with developing news in Pike County. That is where multiple miners and their families are standing at a set of train tracks in an all too familiar sight to many in eastern Kentucky. The reason is strikingly similar to the Black Jewel saga we covered for months. Miners without payment, but this time the company isn't bankrupt. Our Connor James is there now and explains what is going on. Connor?
Yeah, Emily, for nearly a month, these miners for Quest Energy say they've gone without pay. Now, they've worked here in Pike County. It's been a very difficult time for them. They say it's really been a series of empty promises, and that's what brought them out here today around 1 o'clock to stand on these tracks you see behind me and block them and block the train with the cars that has coal in them that they don't want to let go.
Deal, son. We ain't going nowhere.
Gathered around a fire.
I can't believe it had to come to this.
There's an eerily familiar feel in Pike County as miners of Quest Energy stand along a set of train tracks.
I'd say after tonight, even if we do get to go back to work, I ain't going to be able to because I'm out here. But
Dusty Maynard is a miner for Quest Energy, a subsidiary of American Resources. He says the company hasn't paid them in nearly a month.
It's around anywhere from $2,400 to $3,000, and some of these men, they owe more than that.
That's another miner for Quest who didn't want to go on camera in hopes that he will be able to continue working in the mines.
It ain't been nothing but empty promises, and you know, we're just tired of it.
Donations arrived within hours, people bringing pizza, water, and firewood.
We knowed if we didn't do something to catch these co-operators' attention that we wouldn't get paid because all they do is give us empty promises.
American Resources, the parent company, acknowledges that they have not paid their workers, but they said those claims of empty promises are false. Part of that statement reads, quote, "They have been paid since the 16th, so we're not sure where that number is coming from. We do not work men 17 hours as stated. We work a very normal mining schedule," end quote. These miners tell us that is not the case and that hours have been irregular.
I'm just dumbfounded, I guess, you know.
Now, Emily, just a quick search of American Resources stocks shows that they've dropped significantly. Since February of last year, they've dropped nearly 95%. And I do want to say something. There is a big distinction between Black Jewel and Quest Energy. When everything happened with Black Jewel had filed for bankruptcy protection and bankruptcy. Quest and American Resources have not. They're still operational. These men are technically still employed with the mines, and they believe mining operations will continue on Monday. If that's the case, they say they're not going to work. They're actually going to stay out here on the tracks. Another important distinction to make is that when Black Jewel, a lot of those checks were clawed back. Here, that's not the case. They just simply haven't been paid yet. That's a big distinction to make between the two. But the one thing that has made a big similarity between the two is just the conditions here and the fact that they're blocking coal that's more than likely already sold and worth quite a bit of money. I'm in Pike County. Connor James, WYMT Mountain News.
Thank you, Connor. Now, some of you may remember that Perry County Coal, also owned by American Resources, laid off dozens of workers last month without warning. Some of those workers also say they are missing paychecks. While state and local officials look into what happened there, the laid-off miners had a chance to look for a new job today. The Kentucky Career Center job site hosted a career fair. Trish Adams with EK-SEP says a lot of opportunities are available.
East Kentucky Advanced Manufacturing is very popular, and the wages are comparable to the coal mining wage. Also, we have Galen College of Nursing here, as well as Hazard Community and Technical College, and they're featuring the lineman training.
If you missed today's job fair, you can go to eksep.org to find the nearest Kentucky Center to you. Today, we learned more about the shooting in Leslie County that sent Deputy Shane Wilson to the hospital and 3 men to jail. Now, Wilson is back home and recovering, but it leaves the Sheriff's Department in a tight spot. Today, we spoke with Sheriff Barry Collett about the chaos of Saturday morning and the support Leslie County has received. What started as burglary and arson quickly turned into a firefight as Deputy Shane Wilson was shot after stopping this truck the 3 accused burglars were in.
Just get to him as quick as possible, make sure he's safe, and get him wherever he needs to be.
That is Sheriff Billy Collett talking about the chaos of Saturday morning.
Number one, we had a guy in the woods and we didn't know where he was. We had 2 individuals that needed medical treatment. We had to assess the scene and make sure everything was safe for everyone else to arrive to do their jobs.
3 suspects, Joseph Lawson, William Mosley, and Tyler France. Mosley was shot and transported to the hospital, while Lawson was arrested and France ran from the scene, caught not long after.
The outpouring from the community has been amazing. It truly has.
Wilson was airlifted to UK Medical Center after a gunshot went through his hand.
He's been really good. He's upbeat throughout the whole thing so far.
Not letting the injury dampen his spirits.
Joking, cutting up, he was Shane.
The department is in a tight spot with a man down, but the outpouring of love has helped them through.
I mean, it makes it worth everything you do.
Hoping to have the man they describe as the most amazing individual back in uniform soon. And Mosley is charged with assault first degree, wanton endangerment, and receiving stolen property. Lawson was charged with receiving stolen property $10,000 or more, and Tyler France is not facing charges related to the shooting. After Wilson was treated for his injuries, he was welcomed home Sunday with a police escort. Wilson was also a student resource officer at Mountain View Elementary. The school year was his first in that position. Students and staff say the halls feel empty without him, and they miss him.
Yes, we do. He is very much missed. He was a huge part of our school throughout the hallways, in the classrooms, and also in the office.
To show their appreciation for Deputy Wilson, on Wednesday, Principal Gay is asking the community and students to wear black and blue. They will also spend the day making cards for Wilson for when he returns.
Well, it's been a mild day here in the mountains, but as we head into tonight, well, we're going to see those rain chances increase, especially as we head into tomorrow. We're going to take you up, though, to Moorhead, I-64. Pretty quiet up there, and it's been really quiet throughout the day, but those clouds you can see have been increasing. And as we go and look into Whitesburg, 54 degrees right now, those clouds starting to increase, and that's because, once again, that our next system is moving into the mountains. So cooler if you're looking into parts of Moorhead, even Ashland, and even over into Lexington, seeing not too many clouds, but as those clouds continue to increase, we're seeing those low to mid 50s, especially down into Harlan and into Middlesboro. Already starting to see some showers moving into parts of Harlan County, a little bit over into Virginia, down into Tennessee as well. And as we head throughout the night, we're going to continue to see those rain chances increase. Those temperatures right now are actually going to get warmer as we head into the rest of those overnight hours. And as you're waking up on your Tuesday, could be a little bit of a soggy commute. I'll have those details coming up in just a little bit.
Thank you, Paige. Now, over the weekend, a 22-year-old boy lost his life in a logging accident. David Thomas, also known as Bub, was from Knott County. His family remembers him as someone who would help anybody. He was known in the community for his love of horses, never missing a trail ride in Knott County.
Now, I haven't heard one person ever say anything bad about Bub. He was just absolutely one of a kind, and we're going to miss him. We're going to miss him a lot.
David Thomas's visitation is tomorrow and Wednesday at the Nelson Frazier Funeral Home from 6 to 10 p.m. His funeral is Thursday at 11 a.m. The funeral season is on track to be one of the worst in recent history. The U.S. is on pace for 10 million reported cases of the flu. Almost 5,000 people have died. The flu just keeps getting worse here in Kentucky as well. More than 2,000 new cases were confirmed in just 1 week. That brings the total number of lab-confirmed cases in Kentucky to 8,100. The CDC says the flu hasn't been this widespread this early in the season in more than a decade. Experts maintain that a flu shot is the best way to protect yourself from getting the virus. Lawmakers, teenagers, and health leaders are meeting to address the uptick in e-cigarette use by Kentucky youth at the Capitol tomorrow. This comes after news of the state's first death potentially related to vaping on Friday. Ben Chandler with the Coalition for a Smoke-Free Tomorrow says the goal is to get folks fired up over what he calls the vaping epidemic. In 2020, he hopes to get more money allocated to the state's public health department to help with prevention efforts. The Coalition wants vaping products to be taxed too. Chandler says part of the problem is many young users don't know the harmful side effects of the habit.
We have seen the number of high schoolers who vape every day more than quadruple in the last 2 years.
Chandler says the same can be said for Kentucky middle schoolers, too. He says the coalition worked to get 94 school districts smoke-free in the last few months. Now, doctors did not expect one young woman in Johnson County to live very long after she was born. However, Abigail Coleman is now 22 years old. She was diagnosed with osteogenesis imperfecta when she was born. The disease makes her bones extremely brittle. Her mother, Sherry Coleman, says although some days are harder than others, she would not change anything.
She's just full of life, and that's the biggest thing. You know, so I let her be as independent as possible, and then I'm there to pick up, you know, where she leaves off.
Abigail is 1 in 20,000. She loves to take pictures and play on her computer. She and her family are leaving today for another procedure in Tennessee. Today marks the last semester students at the University of the Cumberlands will have to pay for books. Due to a surge in enrollment and decrease in school debt, starting next fall, students can get free books for the semester through their new free loan textbook program. While the final details of when students can start opting in for the program are being ironed out, everyone on campus is looking forward to getting the ball rolling.
I think it'll be, great for the students, and it'll be one less hardship that the students had to try to do to be able to succeed in college.
And they are very excited. Anything that helps cut back costs makes a difference. For some of them, it means they can stay an extra semester or they can finish up a degree.
Just as a reminder, students have to opt in for the book loan. Any student that wants to traditionally pay for books can do so at the campus bookstore. Coming up at 11, a tornado rips through Alabama, killing 3. Hear from people picking up the pieces.
And rain chances increase tonight and continue on and off throughout the week. I'll have those details coming up